All right, Liliana, you are for Xicana Boxing here with Chop Chop here at Rgba. Robert is one of those guys who literally, like bam, he's like, watch out for Chop Chop.
Yeah.
Top rank, Robert in your corner. How does it feel like to be, even though you're 23 years old,
Yes,
already this, accomplished?
I feel very blessed to be in the position that I am. I'm very blessed to be in the position that I am in today. I thank God for it all. And I mean, above everything, one thing that I've been learning though is like, don't believe the hype. Let everybody. I mean, I thank God that a lot of people think highly of me, but it's my job to continue working and to continue, God willing, being able to be that person that everybody can kind of continue to talk about. It's a blessing for sure. At the same time, I love it, but I know that I'm not content because there's a lot of great fighters out there that are ready to try to take my spot, which is try to prove everybody otherwise, that I'm not what they say I am. So it's my job to, try to always stay ready, stay in shape, and try to give the best performances I can. But above everything, it's a blessing for sure to hear where Top Rank and Robert say about me.
You talk about your last performance and being more about yourself. I think I heard you say in an interview that you're your toughest opponent.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You're blaming more like kind of
yeah.
And talk to us about Robert, because Robert's the guy that te regaña in the
yeah. For
how
sure.
did that you how did you develop that with him, that relationship where te puede regañar and you're able to make those changes?
Well, at the end of the day, one thing that I love about Robert and my dad, just the team all around, is that there's not a team where they're just looking to win or just looking for the money. No, we're actually looking to look good, to get the job done right, to get the job done in fantastic manner. And like this last fight, I feel like I put too much pressure on myself, trying to get him out of there, trying to get the job done in a great manner where everybody can see, oh man, this guy is what Robert and them talk about. But at the same time, I believe I put too much pressure on myself. I try to go in there trying to prove too much, and it made things a lot more complicated, And Robert and my dad, they were mad at me, not mad, but because at the same time they know what I could do, and they seen that I was just trying to just going too tense, just trying to get the job done. When it's like, hey, that's one thing that we've been working on in this whole camp is Robert telling me like, you be you, don't worry about nobody else, don't worry about trying to. You be you, and I think above everything, I thank God that I love the sport, and I understand the sport, and I understand that a lot of times not every fight can be fought the same way, So even in sparring matches, stuff like that, I can't always be the aggressor. I can't always, I gotta just be myself, and what I'm feeling in there, and just go by that, And if I'm making mistakes, whatever it is, then it's my corner's job to correct me and tell me, hey, keep this hand up, whatever it is. But above everything, one thing that we've been doing this camp is Robert's been telling me, just be yourself. Don't worry about who's watching. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Don't try to go in there trying to rip his head off. I mean, I thank God that I love the sport, and I kind of can see when I can go to work, when I can, when the guy's hurt, when he's not. When I can see that he's getting tired and I can start going to work more. I can see these kind of things. But one thing that I'm learning is don't force it. Don't force it. Don't try to go in there thinking that this guy's nothing and they're trying to tear his head off, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, this guy trains just as hard. And exactly. And
they get their name off of beating those.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, it's like Robert just telling me, don't give him those kind of chances. If you see opportunities, whatever, take advantage of them. But if you see that this guy's dangerous, if you see that it's more difficult than what we thought it was, then hey, relax and let's work around it, And I think that's the best thing about this camp is that we've been working on,
Another part of boxing is the fans being very fickle, right? One day, yay, the other day, whoa.
Yeah.
How did any fighter also help you with that, or Robert or your dad? How did you navigate that wave of, oh man, well, he didn't get him out this time.
Yeah.
Now,
And I think that's for sure one of my biggest problems, and that's the thing, I feel like, thank God, I may be good, and I thank God that a lot of people say I speak highly of me, but I know that I have a lot of things that I still have to work on. For instance, one of those things, sometimes I let the fans get to my head. Well, not only that, but thank God my previous fights been very exciting, where they like to watch me fight. And this last fight, it was tough because I want to give the fans an exciting fight, but it's hard because the guy I was fighting was boxing, he was moving more, and I could have done things a lot. I could have taken the fight to a slower pace and not got caught with a lot of punches and been able to box a lot better. But at the same time, I want to give the fans a fight. But because of that, I started giving myself up, giving myself a lot of vulnerable moments where I was getting caught and stuff like that because I'm trying to force something that I shouldn't have forced. And that's one thing that I'm learning that Robert's talking to me. Don't worry about the fans. Like you said, they're going to love you one day, they're going to hate you the next day. At the end of the day, you got to think about yourself and your family. We want to get the job done, but we want to get the job done right. We don't want to get the job done. Yeah, we want, but we got hit where, maybe I have to take time off. Maybe I get caught with the right punch, and we don't want to take those kind of risk. At the end of the day, yeah, I want to give the fans exciting fights, but sometimes it takes two to tango, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to take away nothing from Kuba. He fought a great fight. He fought a fight that he was supposed to fight. I just think my problem was in moments I felt like the fight was too slow paced, and I tried to force to make it an action fight, and that's why I would bring myself vulnerable, and he would catch me with punches. Instead of just taking my time, setting things up, setting it up. I feel like sometimes I would hear the arena get a little too quiet, and I'd start thinking to myself, it's getting boring. Yeah, they're gonna start booing it. And that's one thing that, with experience is something that I will learn. The more fights I get like that, the more I'll be able to learn, and the more I'll be able to just block out the noise and be able to be locked in on the fight instead of worrying about the audience.
Yeah, talk to us about Top Rank also. Bob Arum. Not only are you with one of the multiple time trainer of the year, but also Hall of Fame, and then with Top Rank, who literally is one of the longest reigning promotional companies.
Yes.
I know you just started with Top Rank, but are you planning to kind of make that like this is gonna be my career?
That really, man, I love where I'm at with Top Rank. The relationship I have with them, the relationship I have with my trainers, and the relationship my trainers have with them as well. That's one thing that I feel like it's a lot of pressure because I know, like you said, that I got a Hall of Fame trainer. Not only that, but I also got one of the biggest promotion companies that backs me, and they all speak very highly of me. So I try my best to always never upset them. I always want to go in there and I want to give them the best performances, the best everything. And sometimes it's a lot of pressure. At the end of the day, I'm not blaming no pressure or anything like that, but I thank God that they speak highly of me, and I want to keep them to speak highly of me. I want that to continue. I like it. I love it. I love it that they speak highly of me. But I do know that I still got a lot of work to do to get done. I still have a lot of things I have to work on. But I'm comfortable knowing that Top Rank, they've been they know what they're doing. They know if I'm ready or not, and I trust in them that if they're giving me whatever fights that they're giving me, is because they know what they're doing. I just need to learn to just stop putting so much pressure on myself and just do what I do. That's it. Just like I said, I'm my biggest how is it, like my biggest opponent. Either I can fight great, or sometimes if I put too much pressure on myself and I want to go out there and show the world, and then I end up messing myself up. And I fight a fight that could have been a lot. I fight a fight that could have been fought a lot easier, a lot better. But it all comes with experience. It's part of the game. Exactly, for sure.
May 10th, right here, San Diego is going to be a little bit closer than Vegas for us.
Yes.
Talk to us about that card too. You're going to be with some of your guys here as well, and the main event is Navarrete. How are you feeling about that card? Give us your prediction on that as well.
I think it's a blessing. Like you said, I'm going to be fighting with a couple of my stablemates here. Santiago, Raymond. And above everything, I think it's a blessing to be able to be on a card with Raymond Muratalla. For a lot of people that don't know, I trained with Raymond since I was little, since I was like 8 years old. They taught us a lot back then. When we started, we were just more fight like the Mexican way, just, go forward and strong and never back down. And Raymond and his dad and his other brother Gabriel, they taught us what it was to box, how to actually box, not just be dumb and just come forward and take unnecessary punches, but actually being able to box, use the ring, use our feet. They taught us so much about boxing, and to be able to be on a card like that where he's going to fight for his first world title, I'm going to be on the undercard. It's beautiful. It's a blessing because I've always looked up to them since we were little, and to see that, he's doing great things. To be on that undercard where he's gonna fight for a world title, and God willing, he's gonna win.
I see you. You get lit. I saw you. I think with Rubalcaba. He was on that third round. I think he was going up and down. Too hype up yourself. Are you trying to like get your fight done and go sit down?
Yeah, exactly. For sure. At the end of the day, that's what I like about this gym. It's not just like, I've seen other gyms where everybody kind of does their own thing. Everybody's worried about themselves. Not here. We all push ourselves to the limit. We all hold each other accountable, and we all want to see each other win. When we're sparring, we don't just take it easy on each other because we're friends. Nah, like, we understand that we gotta beat each other up. Yeah, we gotta beat each other up if we want each other to get better. So at the end of the day, one thing is in the ring, but once we're outside the ring, we all push each other. We all want to see each other win. And to be able to be there live and be able to not just witness him win, but God willing, we'll be able to win all together. It's beautiful. It's honestly like it's a dream. You know, a lot of times the dream is to be world champion, whatever it is. But one thing that I'm realizing is this is the dream. You know, the journey to see. Man, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they're reaching that dream, and I'm me being able to be a part of that dream, being able to witness it, being able, man, it's beautiful, and I thank God that He's giving me the blessing and the position to be able to be there and be able to fight on that undercard and then witness after, like you said, after I'm done fighting, get ready and go right back out to the stands and cheer for my boy Raymond. You know, it's a blessing, definitely.
What do you know about your opponent? Because we got to get through him before with Raymond.
Yeah, for sure. So that's one of my problems as well. Sometimes is like I really don't like to study my opponent. Not that I don't like. I'll watch one clip or two, but I know that he's a come forward strong fighter. You know, I think my problem is sometimes is on video, on tape. Sometimes it can look a lot easier, or sometimes it can look a lot harder. You know, sometimes you see him, and I think that's what happened with Cool. I seen a couple of tape from him, and I didn't really see, and I don't mean to say it in any disrespectful way. I mean, we saw the last fight, man. The dude was very tough, very skilled, he's a great fighter. But when I saw his tape, I didn't think he was anything special. And I think that was what my problem was, is that gave me the mindset like I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna destroy this guy, you know. And what we all seen the results. It was a very tough fight, a lot tougher than I expected. But because I had that mindset that I was going to come in and I didn't think he was going to be that tough, you know, he gave me a tough fight. And I walked into a lot of punches I shouldn't have. I made a lot of mistakes I wasn't supposed to. But because of that mentality that I had, that I seen him and I thought, oh, no, he's not, you know. And then once I was in the ring with him, it was a whole different story. So I think that's my problem a lot of times too, is I don't like to watch videos, footage, because and then I can easily underestimate a fighter, and it's not the same as when you're actually in there with them. So this fight, I've learned that the hard way from this last fight. So this fight, it's more like my trainers and everybody are watching his tape, and they're telling me what to do, you know, what to expect. But at the same time, I'd rather just, once I'm in that ring with him, then I'll be able to figure out what kind of fighter he is, you know, without underestimating him, without thinking, because at the end of the day, man, it's easy to judge on the outside, but once you're in the ring, head to head with them, it's all a different story.
Lastly, I saw you at the Hall of Fame celebration with Robert.
Yeah.
That's why I asked, because obviously Robert loves all his guys, and like you said, there's a lot of camaraderie here, but he does speak very highly of you. You're one of the guys that, como que te trae para todos lados. You look really cool over there.
Thank God, we were able to pull up. It's funny. It wasn't even, at the same time, like, I'm pretty sure people probably thought, like, oh, Robert, not that Robert didn't want to take me or he didn't. I was able to get tickets from another guy. Yeah. At the same time, I'm pretty sure because as long as I can support and I'll be there, stuff like that. It was because at the same time, Robert got a lot of fighters, and I understand that if say he gives me a ticket and not nobody else, kind of and it wasn't like that. Like it wasn't that he gave me ticket. He was happy to see me, and I was happy to be there. But thank God I was able to get tickets from another guy named Rodney, where he shows a lot of support. Yeah, shout out Rodney, where he shows me a lot of love and support. And he was able to give me tickets. He asked me if I wanted to be there. I was like, of course, I'd love to be there. And he gave me some tickets, and me and my dad were able to show up, and we were able to surprise Robert. Where Robert didn't know we were there. Yeah, Robert didn't know we were going to be there, but when he saw us, he welcomed us with open arms, and it was a great time. It was a great time for sure.
I let the fans know where they can follow you, and of course, invite them May 10th to tune into your fight, and of course, Muratalla-Zaur.
Yeah, for sure. You guys can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Chop_Gonzalez 1. I fight again on May 10th in the Pechanga Arena in San Diego. For those that are looking to get tickets, you guys can find the tickets. The link is in my bio on Instagram at Chop_Gonzalez 1. Please use code name Gonzalez, so that way they can see that we're bringing a big crowd, and God willing, being in a bigger crowd, that means we can get maybe better checks, So if you guys want to support me, put that code name in, see that we draw a big crowd, and show that we're fan-friendly fighters. That we're going to give you guys a great night of boxing, and that's the plan.
All right, Chopper. Thank you so much for your time.